The massive doors of the Vorthak throne room opened with a deep rumble that echoed through the crystal chamber. Queen Mira sat upon her throne made of polished black stone, her blue scales gleaming under the soft light of floating orbs. The royal court buzzed with whispered conversations as nobles and advisors waited for the daily reports from across the empire. Commander Rex stepped forward, his silver armor reflecting the light as he bowed deeply. "Your Majesty, we have received word from the Outer Rim. A ship has appeared at Kepler Station. It bears the royal seal." Queen Mira straightened in her throne. Very few ships carried the royal seal, and she knew the location of each one. "Which vessel, Commander?" "The ship belongs to Princess Zara, my queen." The throne room fell completely silent. Every conversation stopped. Every breath was held. Princess Zara had been missing for 3 years. The royal family had held a memorial service. The Empire had mourned their lost princess. Yet now her ship had appeared at the edge of Vorthak space. General Vex, a large Vorthak with dark green scales and scars across his face, stepped forward. "Impossible. The princess died in the asteroid fields near Gamma 7. We found debris from her ship." "The ship's identification codes match perfectly," Commander Rex replied. Station Commander Chris confirmed it himself. "The princess requests permission to return to the homeworld." Queen Mira's heart raced, but she kept her expression calm. Hope and fear battled in her chest. If her daughter was truly alive, why had she stayed away for 3 years? What had happened to her during that time? "Grant permission immediately," the Queen commanded. "Prepare the royal docking bay. I want a full honor guard ready." "Your Majesty," General Vex interrupted, "perhaps we should be cautious. Much time has passed. We do not know what has happened to the princess or where she has been." Queen Mira's eyes flashed with anger. "She is my daughter and the heir to the throne. She will be welcomed home with full honors." The next day, Princess Zara's ship landed in the royal docking bay with a soft hiss of engines powering down. Queen Mira stood waiting with the full royal court. Her heart pounded as the ship's door slowly opened. Princess Zara appeared at the doorway, but she looked nothing like the proud warrior who had left 3 years ago. Her once bright blue scales had turned dull gray. Her royal armor was gone, replaced by simple brown clothing. Her face showed lines of worry and exhaustion, but what shocked everyone most was what she carried in her arms. A small human child clung to her chest. The boy looked to be about 4 years old, with brown hair and curious dark eyes. He wore clean but simple clothes and gazed around the throne room with wonder rather than fear. The royal court erupted in gasps and whispered words of shock. Several nobles stepped backward. General Vex's hand moved to his weapon. "Silence," Queen Mira commanded, her voice echoing through the chamber. She walked slowly toward her daughter, her eyes moving between Zara's face and the human child. "My daughter," Queen Mira said softly, "you have returned to us." Princess Zara bowed her head respectfully, but she did not kneel. The human child made this impossible, and she seemed unwilling to let him go even for royal protocol. "Mother," Zara said, her voice hoarse with emotion, "I have returned. But I am not the same person who left. That much is clear," General Vex said loudly. "Princess, why do you carry a human child? Where have you been for 3 years? The Empire declared you dead. Your mother grieved for you." The human child turned to look at General Vex, showing no fear despite the large alien's threatening tone. Instead, he whispered something to Princess Zara in the human language. "He asks if the big green man is angry." Zara translated. "I told him that some people here might seem angry, but they are just confused." Queen Mira stepped closer. The human child looked at her with bright, intelligent eyes. He seemed healthy and well cared for. Most importantly, he clearly trusted Princess Zara completely. "What is the child's name?" Queen Mira asked. "Ben," Princess Zara replied. "His name is Ben. And where did you find him?" Princess Zara took a deep breath. "I did not find him, Mother. He was given to me, but the story is long and difficult to tell." General Vex moved forward aggressively. "Then tell it quickly. The court demands answers. You disappear for 3 years, then return carrying an alien child. This is unacceptable behavior for a royal princess." The human child, Ben, seemed to sense the tension in the room. He wrapped his small arms tighter around Princess Zara's neck and spoke quietly in her ear. "He says he is scared," Princess Zara said. "He asks if we can go somewhere safe." Commander Rex stepped forward. "Perhaps we should move to a private chamber, Your Majesty. The princess can tell her story without the entire court listening." But General Vex shook his head firmly. No, the princess disappeared for 3 years. The Empire has a right to know what happened. She will tell her story here before all of us. Queen Mira looked at her daughter's tired face and made her decision. Zara, tell us what happened. But first, does the child need anything? Food? Water? He is fine, mother. We ate on the ship. Princess Zara shifted Ben to a more comfortable position. 3 years ago, I was flying patrol near the asteroid fields when my ship was attacked by raiders. They damaged my engines and navigation systems. I managed to escape, but my ship was dying. The court listened carefully as Princess Zara continued her story. I sent a distress signal, but I was too far from any Vorthak outpost. My ship's power was failing. I thought I would die in space, alone and forgotten. Queen Mira's heart ached as she imagined her daughter facing death in the cold darkness of space. But then I detected a small planet with breathable air. I managed to crash land in a forest near a human settlement. My injuries were severe. I should have died. General Vex interrupted again. What human settlement? There are no authorized human colonies in that sector. It was called Haven Colony, Princess Zara replied. About 2,000 humans lived there. They had built their homes in a valley surrounded by mountains. They grew their own food and made everything they needed. Illegal settlers, General Vex said with disgust. They had no right to be there. Princess Zara's eyes flashed with anger. They saved my life, General. When they found me bleeding in the wreckage of my ship, they did not see an enemy. They did not see someone to fear or hate. They saw someone who needed help. The human child Ben spoke softly to Princess Zara again. She smiled down at him and replied in the human language before turning back to the court. He says the people were kind to me. He remembers them taking care of me when I was hurt. Queen Mira felt confusion growing in her chest. The child was there? How long were you with these humans? 2 years, Princess Zara said quietly. For 2 years I lived among them. They nursed me back to health. They gave me food and shelter. They asked for nothing in return. The court erupted in shocked whispers. 2 years was a long time. Long enough for a person to change completely. General Vex stepped forward, his face dark with anger. 2 years? You lived with illegal human settlers for 2 years? Why did you not contact us? Why did you not return home? Princess Zara looked down at Ben, who was playing with a small toy in his hands. The toy appeared to be a wooden spaceship, carved by hand. At first I was too injured to travel. My legs were broken. My scales were damaged. The humans, Dr. Lisa and Engineer Tom, worked every day to heal me. They used their own medical supplies. They gave me their own food. She paused, remembering those difficult early days. But as I healed, I began to learn about these humans. They were not like the humans we had heard about in our military reports. They were not violent or greedy. They worked together to solve every problem. When food was scarce, they shared equally. When someone was sick, everyone helped. Commander Rex looked thoughtful. These humans treated you well, Princess. But that does not explain why you stayed so long or why you carry their child. Princess Zara's expression grew sad. Ben's parents, Dr. Lisa and Engineer Tom, were the ones who saved my life. For 2 years, they treated me like family. Ben was just a baby when I arrived. I watched him grow from a tiny infant into the curious boy you see now. Ben looked up at Princess Zara and smiled. He clearly adored her. The love between them was obvious to everyone watching. 6 months ago, raiders attacked Haven Colony, Princess Zara continued, her voice growing heavy with sorrow. The same raiders who had attacked my ship years before. But this time they wanted more than just supplies. They wanted slaves. The throne room grew very quiet. Slavery was illegal in Vorthak space, but everyone knew it still happened in the Outer Rim territories. The humans could have run, Princess Zara said. They could have taken their ships and fled to another world. But they chose to fight, not for territory or treasure, but to protect the children and elderly who could not escape quickly. General Vex frowned. Humans fighting raiders? Impossible. Humans are weak. They have no warrior culture. Princess Zara looked directly at General Vex. You are wrong, General. I have never seen courage like what those humans showed. Dr. Lisa fought with a broken arm to defend the medical center where the children were hiding. Engineer Tom held off raiders with nothing but mining tools to protect the evacuation ships. Tears began to form in Princess Zara's eyes, but her voice remained strong. In the final battle, Tom was badly wounded. He knew he was dying, but instead of thinking about himself, he thought about Ben. He brought his son to me and asked me to promise something. Queen Mira waited. sensing that this moment was crucial to understanding everything. He asked me to protect Ben. He said that humans and Vorthak might be different species, but love was universal. He trusted me to keep his son safe, even though I was an alien who had lived among them for only 2 years. The human child Ben seemed to understand that they were talking about his parents. He leaned his head against Princess Zara's shoulder but did not cry. He had learned to be brave just like his parents. Tom died in my arms, Princess Zara continued. Dr. Lisa died defending the evacuation point, but their sacrifice saved over 300 people from 12 different species. Haven Colony was home to more than just humans. General Vex shook his head in disbelief. A human asked you to raise his child? And you agreed? I did more than agree, Princess Zara said firmly. I promised, and for 6 months I have kept that promise. Ben is my son now, just as much as if I had given birth to him myself. Ben looked up and spoke in the Vorthak language, his words careful but clear. Mama Zara keeps me safe. The entire court gasped. The human child had called Princess Zara Mama in perfect Vorthak. General Vex stepped forward, his face twisted with anger. This is unacceptable. A royal princess cannot adopt an alien child. It violates every law and tradition of our people. But Queen Mira was staring at Ben with wonder. You taught him our language? He is very smart, Princess Zara said proudly. He speaks both human and Vorthak fluently. He learns new things every day, and he has taught me things too. What could a human child teach a Vorthak princess? General Vex demanded. Princess Zara smiled, the first real smile she had shown since returning. He taught me that family is not about species or blood. Family is about love and protection, and choosing to care for someone no matter what happens. Ben spoke up again, this time in human language. Princess Zara translated. He says that all the people here look sad and angry. He wants to know if he did something wrong. Queen Mira's heart melted as she looked at the innocent child who only wanted to understand why the adults around him seemed upset. Tell him he did nothing wrong, Queen Mira said softly. Princess Zara translated, and Ben's face brightened. He looked directly at Queen Mira and spoke in Vorthak. Are you Ben's grandmother now? The simple question hit Queen Mira like a physical blow. This small human child who had lost everything was asking if she could be his family too. Before Queen Mira could answer, General Vex exploded with rage. Enough, this madness stops now. Princess, you will surrender the human child immediately. He will be returned to his own species. You will undergo re-education to remove these dangerous ideas about interspecies families. Princess Zara pulled Ben closer to her chest. No. That was not a request, General Vex said, drawing his weapon. That was an order. But Ben, instead of being frightened by the weapon, looked at General Vex with curious eyes. Why is the Green Man so angry? He asked in Vorthak. Did someone hurt his feelings? The innocent question, asked with genuine concern for General Vex's emotional state, stunned everyone in the room. This human child was worried about the feelings of someone who was threatening him. Commander Rex stepped between General Vex and Princess Zara. General, perhaps we should discuss this calmly. There is nothing to discuss, General Vex shouted. The princess has been contaminated by alien ideas. The child is an abomination. Ben's eyes filled with tears at the harsh word, even though he might not understand its full meaning. Princess Zara held him tighter and spoke soothingly in both languages. You made him cry, she said to General Vex, her voice cold as ice. He is 4 years old. He lost his parents, and you made him cry. Queen Mira looked at her daughter holding the human child, protecting him from fear and anger. She looked at Ben, who despite being scared was still more concerned about others than himself. She thought about the story of Tom and Lisa, who died protecting children of many species. General Vex, Queen Mira said quietly, lower your weapon. Your Majesty, you cannot be serious about allowing this. Lower your weapon, Queen Mira repeated, her voice carrying the full authority of the throne. General Vex reluctantly put away his weapon, but his face remained twisted with anger. Queen Mira walked slowly toward Princess Zara and Ben. When she was close enough, she knelt down so she was at Ben's eye level. Hello, Ben, she said in careful Vorthak. I am Queen Mira. Would you like to be friends? Ben looked at Princess Zara, who nodded encouragingly. Then he looked back at Queen Mira and smiled. Hello, Queen Mira. Mama Zara says you are her mama. That makes you my grandmama, right? Queen Mira felt tears coming to her eyes. "Yes," she whispered. "I suppose it does." The royal throne room remained silent for several long moments after Ben called Queen Mira his grandmama. The small human child looked around at all the tall blue aliens with innocent curiosity, completely unaware that his simple words had just shaken the foundation of Vorthak society. General Vex broke the silence with a harsh laugh. "Your Majesty, surely you cannot be serious about this. A human child cannot become part of the royal family. Our laws forbid interspecies adoption. Our traditions demand purity of bloodlines." Queen Mira stood slowly, her eyes never leaving Ben's face. The child smiled at her with such genuine warmth that she felt her heart breaking and healing at the same time. "Our laws," Queen Mira said carefully, "were written when we believed other species were inferior to us. Perhaps it is time to reconsider what we believe." General Vex stepped forward, his face dark with anger. "Your Majesty, I have served this empire for 40 years. I have fought in 12 wars to expand our territory and protect our people. I will not stand by and watch you destroy everything we have built for the sake of one alien child." Commander Rex moved closer to the throne, sensing that the situation was becoming dangerous. Several other court members shifted nervously, unsure of which side to support. Princess Zara spoke up, her voice calm, but firm. "General Vex, what exactly are you afraid of? That Ben will somehow weaken our empire. He is 4 years old. He cannot even reach the weapon controls on a ship." "I am afraid of the precedent this sets," General Vex replied. "If we allow one human child into the royal family, what comes next? Will we start adopting members of every species we encounter? Will we forget that we are Vorthak?" Ben looked up at Princess Zara and whispered something in human language. She smiled and whispered back. Then Ben looked directly at General Vex and spoke in careful Vorthak. "General Vex, sir. Why does being different species make us enemies? Mama Zara is different from me, but we love each other. My Papa Tom said love makes families, not DNA." The simple wisdom from such a young child stunned several court members. Here was a human child, barely old enough for school, talking about love and family with more maturity than many adults. General Vex sneered. "The child has been trained to say these things. Humans are naturally manipulative. They use emotion to control others." "That is enough," Queen Mira said sharply. "You will not insult a child in my presence." But General Vex was beyond listening to reason. His anger had been building for years as he watched the empire change and modernize. The addition of a human child to the royal family represented everything he hated about these changes. "Your Majesty, I formally request a vote of no confidence. You are no longer fit to rule if you place alien sentimentality above Vorthak interests." Gasps echoed through the throne room. A vote of no confidence was rarely used and only in the most extreme circumstances. If General Vex could convince enough court members to support him, Queen Mira could be removed from power. Commander Rex immediately stepped forward. "General, you overstep your authority. The Queen has made no formal decisions yet. She has simply shown kindness to a child." "Kindness to an alien child," General Vex corrected. "Kindness that threatens the very foundation of our society." Ben tugged on Princess Zara's clothing and whispered urgently. She leaned down to listen, then looked surprised. "What did he say?" Queen Mira asked. "He wants to know if General Vex is sad about something. He says angry people are usually sad inside, and maybe if we help him feel better, he will not be so mean." The court stared in amazement. Even while being insulted and threatened, the human child was concerned about his tormentor's emotional well-being. General Vex laughed harshly. "See? The child tries to manipulate us with false concern. This is exactly what I mean about human trickery." But Ben stepped forward, slipping out of Princess Zara's arms before she could stop him. The small human child walked directly toward General Vex, showing no fear despite the massive alien's threatening posture. "General Vex," Ben said in his careful Vorthak, "my Papa Tom told me that people who are mean to others are usually hurt inside. Did someone hurt you? Is that why you do not like me?" General Vex stared down at the tiny human who barely reached his knee. "I do not like you because you do not belong here. This is not your world or your species." Ben nodded seriously as if considering this information. "You are right. This is not my world. My world was destroyed by bad people. But Mama Zara brought me here because she loves me. Do you not have anyone who loves you?" The innocent question hit General Vex like a physical blow. His own family had died in a war 20 years ago. He had dedicated his life to military service, believing that strength and purity were the only things that mattered. But this small human child was asking about love, something he had not felt in decades. "Love is weakness," General Vex said, but his voice lacked its earlier conviction. Ben shook his head. "No, sir. Love is what made my papa fight the bad people even when he was hurt. Love is what made Mama Zara take care of me even though I am different. Love makes people strong, not weak." Commander Rex watched in amazement as the 4-year-old human child calmly explained concepts of courage and strength to one of the Empire's most decorated generals. Queen Mira stepped forward and knelt beside Ben. "Tell me more about your papa. Ben, what other things did he teach you?" Ben's face brightened. "Papa Tom said that being brave does not mean you are not scared. It means you do the right thing even when you are scared. He said protecting people who cannot protect themselves is the most important job anyone can have." "And what about your mama, Dr. Lisa?" Princess Zara asked gently. "Mama Lisa said that learning about different people makes you smarter. She said every species has something special to teach us. She wanted to learn about all the aliens in the galaxy because she thought they were interesting, not scary." Several court members exchanged glances. These human values, courage, protection of the weak, curiosity about other species, were remarkably similar to the ideals that the Vorthak claimed to uphold. General Vex tried one more time to gain support. "Your Majesty, regardless of what this child says, the law is clear. Interspecies adoption is forbidden. If you violate this law, you set a dangerous precedent." But Ben stepped closer to General Vex and looked up at him with sincere eyes. "General Vex, what if we change the law? Laws are made by people, so people can change them, right? If the old law makes people sad, maybe we need a new law that makes people happy." Commander Rex could not help but smile. "The child has a point, General. Laws should serve the people, not the other way around." Queen Mira stood and looked around the throne room. "I want to hear from all of you. Do any court members support General Vex's call for a vote of no confidence?" Several moments passed in silence. Finally, an elderly court member named Lady Kira stepped forward. She had served 3 monarchs and was respected for her wisdom. "Your Majesty, I have watched this entire exchange with great interest. I have seen a human child show more wisdom, compassion, and courage than many adults. If these are the qualities that humans can bring to our empire, perhaps we should welcome them rather than fear them." Another court member, Lord Dren, nodded agreement. "The child speaks of values that we claim to honor: courage, protection of the weak, love of family. How can we reject these things simply because they come from a different species?" General Vex looked around desperately for support but found none. Even his own military officers were beginning to look uncertain. Ben noticed General Vex's distress and walked over to him again. "General Vex, are you feeling lonely?" "When I feel lonely, Mama Zara hugs me and tells me stories. Would you like a hug?" The offer of comfort from the very child he had been threatening broke something inside General Vex. He looked down at Ben's innocent face and felt decades of anger and pain begin to crack. "I do not deserve kindness from you, child," General Vex said quietly. "I have said terrible things about you." Ben shrugged. "Papa Tom said everyone deserves kindness. Even people who are mean sometimes. Maybe especially people who are mean, because they probably need kindness the most." Queen Mira watched as her hardest, most difficult general knelt down to Ben's level. For the first time in years, General Vex's face showed vulnerability instead of anger. "What is your name again, little one?" General Vex asked. "Ben. What is your first name, General Vex?" "Carr," he replied, surprised to be asked. No one had used his first name in decades. "Nice to meet you, Carr," Ben said with a bright smile. "Would you like to be friends?" General Vex, Carr, looked at the small human hand extended toward him. Slowly, carefully, he reached out and shook it with one massive finger. "I would like that very much," he said, his voice thick with emotion. Queen Mira felt tears in her eyes as she watched the transformation. This human child had done something that years of diplomacy and military discipline could not accomplish. He had reached past anger and fear to find the lonely person underneath. Princess Zara picked up Ben and held him close. "You see, Mother, this is what the humans taught me. They showed me that strength comes from love, not from hate. They proved that different species can work together, live together, and care for each other." Commander Rex stepped forward. "Your Majesty, I believe Princess Zara and Ben have shown us something important today. Perhaps it is time for the Vorthak Empire to reconsider our relationships with other species." Queen Mira nodded slowly. "I agree. But before we make any major policy changes, I want to hear more about Haven Colony. Zara, you said there were survivors from the Raider attack.
Yes, Mother.
12 survivors, including Ben. They are currently living on a refugee ship in the neutral zone. They have nowhere to go. And these survivors represent multiple species? 6 different species, Princess Zara confirmed. They all lived together peacefully at Haven Colony. They shared resources, protected each other's children, and worked together to build something beautiful. Queen Mira made her decision. Commander Rex, I want you to personally lead a rescue mission to bring these survivors to Vorthak space. They will be given full asylum and assistance in rebuilding their lives. Your Majesty, Lady Kira said. What about our existing laws regarding refugees and interspecies contact? Emergency Royal Decree, Queen Mira announced. The laws regarding interspecies adoption and refugee asylum are hereby suspended pending full review by the Royal Council. Furthermore, I am establishing a new Department of Interspecies Relations with Princess Zara as its first director. General Carr stood up slowly. Your Majesty, I owe you and the child an apology. I let fear and old prejudices cloud my judgment. If you will permit me, I would like to volunteer for the refugee rescue mission. Ben clapped his hands excitedly. Carr gets to help save people. That is so exciting. The innocent joy in Ben's voice made several court members laugh. Here was a child who had lost everything, yet he was excited about helping others who were in trouble. There is one more thing, Queen Mira said. Ben, would you like to live here in the palace with Princess Zara? You would have your own room, teachers to help you learn, and lots of people who care about you. Ben looked thoughtful for a moment. Would Mama Zara live here too? Yes, Queen Mira confirmed. She would be with you always. And would I get to help with the rescue mission? I want to help the other kids who are scared. Princess Zara smiled. You are still very young, Ben, but when you are older, I promise you can help with missions to help other people. Okay, Ben said happily. Then he looked at Queen Mira. Grandmama Mira, can I ask you something? Of course, dear one. The other kids from Haven Colony do not have mamas and papas anymore. When they come here, can they live in the palace too? I do not want them to be lonely. Queen Mira looked at this remarkable human child who had just asked her to adopt 11 more orphans from 6 different species. Instead of feeling overwhelmed, she felt proud. We will find good homes for all of them, she promised. Some might live in the palace, others with families throughout the empire, but they will all be safe and loved. Ben threw his arms around Queen Mira's neck and hugged her tightly. Thank you, Grandmama Mira. You are the best queen ever. As Queen Mira held her new human grandson, she realized that her daughter had brought home more than just a child. She had brought home a new way of thinking about family, about strength, and about what it meant to be part of the Vorthak Empire. Commander Rex began making plans for the rescue mission. Lady Kira started drafting new laws for interspecies adoption. General Carr asked Princess Zara to teach him some basic human phrases so he could communicate with the refugees. And Ben sat in Queen Mira's lap, telling her stories about his parents and asking questions about what it was like to be a queen. For the first time in 3 years, the throne room felt truly alive with hope and possibility. The empire would never be the same. And that, Queen Mira realized, was exactly what they needed.